Posted by UTRA Dress Distress. AITA not paying any more towards our daughter's wedding after she cut pieces off her mother's wedding dress for her own? My wife made her wedding dress with her mother. It's very sentimental to her and she was very proud of it. It was simple but freaking gorgeous. She has always said she would love for our kids to wear her dress at their wedding. We have 3 daughters, 34, 30, 25, and 1 son, 28. My wife made it known that the dress was not to be altered except to be taken in, let out so it could be kept and reworn. Our youngest daughter didn't wear it. Our Dill wore it for their reception and our son held it up against him for some pre-wedding bridal pictures, so he wasn't left out. He totally rocked it. Oldest daughter wore it for her wedding. We've offered some financial contributions to all our children towards either school, a wedding, or a house down payment. Olivia has asked for help paying for her wedding. The wedding is in the beginning of August. A few months ago, Olivia asked my wife if she could use the dress for her wedding and my wife gave her the dress so Olivia could get it fitted with plenty of time. Tuesday Olivia asked me to go with her to pay some vendors. One of the stops was the tailor shop for a final fitting and pay the seamstress. Olivia was really nervous, and I figured it was just usual pre-wedding jitters and excitement. The dress Olivia came out in was not at all her mother's dress. It was a completely different dress with parts of her mother's gown added to it. She took the straps, the sash, the train, and the embroidered top skirt and had it added to this new dress. I was befuddled for a bit and then asked what the hell this was. Olivia's reasoning was that she was the last of our kids to get married and there wasn't anyone else to wear it and she made sure to instruct they keep the original dress to be returned to her. I told her that's not the same, she knows it, and the dress was never hers to do with what she wanted. I asked the seamstress for the rest of my wife's dress and had Olivia tell my wife in person what she had done. My wife was devastated. I have since cancelled the payments I made that day and told her I won't be paying another cent to her wedding. She and her fiancé can figure it out. Our youngest daughter thinks I've gone overboard knowing Olivia planned her wedding with our help in mind and without it, she can't finish paying for everything. Olivia's future in-laws also agree with that they can't afford to help and suggested I should pay, and then we just go low contact with Olivia. I've told them both that Olivia took something irreplaceable from her mother for her own vanity. I know we originally offered help with the wedding, but I think Olivia's actions warrant cancelling that offer. AITA? Now on to some comments before the edit, update. Posted by MD Thomas, NTA. That was hugely disrespectful to your wife. The dress didn't even belong to your daughter. If they can't afford the big wedding without your help, then they can downsize the wedding. Alexmalexem responded with, exactly. It doesn't matter that your daughter is the last one to use the dress. It doesn't give her the right to destroy, alter it. She should have discussed it with your wife first, and then abide by whatever decision your wife made. She arbitrarily made the decision to ruin the dress. NTA. Dennis_Ogre responded with, NTA. Ironic, but on AITA it seems like weddings destroy as many families as funerals. I'm not even sure what the point of dismembering the mother's dress was. It's almost like the daughter wanted to irrevocably claim this piece of family history for her own without asking. Mighty Warrior 411 responded with, my heart goes out to your wife. I would be devastated. NTA and your daughter is a huge I would do the same thing to my daughter and not pay anymore. She should have thought this through. Actions come with consequences, and the consequence you're giving is minor compared to the consequence of the relationship and trust she has to fix with her mother. Duck Duck Waffle 99 responded with, what in the world did your daughter think was going to be the reaction of her mother upon seeing that dress, as the bride was strolling down the aisle? Would the bride had been smirking as she looked at her mother, knowing that what she did was irrevocable? Did she not anticipate that her mother would burst into tears, be devastated? How did she expect her mother to put on a brave face for an entire wedding and entire reception when she had seen something so precious cut up for the self-aggrandizement of her daughter? NTA. Now on to the edit and updates. Edit. Thank you everyone for the responses. My wife and I will look at more of them tomorrow and discuss the subject further. Just want to address a misconception: we have not gone low or no contact with Olivia. Her in-laws suggested it and that is insane. My wife's initial reaction to finding out Tuesday was to not go to the wedding. That was said in anger and not a done deal. It'd probably depend a lot on Olivia's handling until then as well. Taking her dress she paid for would hurt our relationship with her just as much as not paying for anything else. Which is why we are discussing our options and skimming comments for things we have not thought of and are doable. Update 1. My wife and I are reading as many comments as we can. She appreciates the concern and support. For those saying the dress wouldn't be worn again anyway, she has this to say. It's not about whether or not it would be worn again. If none of my children asked to wear it, I still would keep the dress for me. My mother taught me everything I know about sewing. We spent months picking out fabrics and doing trial and error on practice dresses as we made mine. It was mine. It was my one prized possession that held incredible memories for me. I have thought of having it put in my casket with me because once I'm gone, the person it mattered to is gone. However, I would have worn it again. Our 40th anniversary is in a couple years, and I was very much looking forward to recreating our photos. It may seem like I'm choosing my dress over my daughter, I'm not. It is her deceit, indifference, and her blatant lack of remorse that I am hurt most by and having a hard time with. It is the underhanded ways she thought to address the issue. It is the fact she will not apologize and have a conversation with me but is only worried about the rest of her wedding items being paid for and pinning it until after her honeymoon. I did not raise her to be like that. I would have loved to help her make designs for the dress she picked out if she had asked, and she knows this. I have never denied her help in her life, nor has our help come with conditions. Today we'll take my wife's dress to the seamstress that has the Franken dress to see what can be repaired. My wife has said the sash and train are most likely lost as the fabric of the gown was cut and the seams undone properly. Paraphrasing here, not up on sewing lingo. Unfortunately, even if it can be restored or parts of it, Olivia is currently not wanting to give up the dress after the wedding. She wants to keep hers and is imploring her mother to understand since she kept her wedding dress for so long. We don't want to lose our relationship with our daughter, but we both agree there need to be consequences and there isn't really any moving forward if Olivia isn't willing to budge on anything. Now on to the update 2. Hello again Reddit. A lot of people were very supportive of my wife, so I figured I'd share what happened. After posting, my wife went to the seamstress shop and had the pieces of her dress removed since Olivia refused to have them taken off and returned after the wedding. This caused an upset with our daughter when she found out. Our future son-in-law came to talk to us afterward to get our side of the story. Regrettably, Olivia was not honest with him about the situation and had told him my wife was upset that Olivia took too many parts off the dress. He was not aware she lied to get the dress in the first place and was avoiding her mother. As it turned out, he got involved after 2 of her bridesmaids dropped out at the same time and he was getting conflicting stories from her and them. Olivia had used their phones to cancel plans with their respective boyfriends so they could be free for last-minute plans Olivia made for her bridesmaids. According to Olivia's friends, her personality has changed over the last few years when she got a promotion at work and had an assistant and a team working under her. Week and a half before the wedding, son-in-law asked if they could come over. He got Olivia to talk to her mother and she apologized. She explained why she did what she did. She wanted similar pieces on her dress, but the cost was going to be too much. It was cheaper to add parts. Olivia has said she feels a need to keep up with some of the other women she works with and has a hard time shutting that personality off. She has started therapy and will be changing jobs to a different company. We did not pay more towards the wedding. They agreed to have the catering they could afford on their own and families potlucking the rest. They also came up with a solution for music and decorations. This way my wife can get what she needs to repair her dress the best she can. The parts that are not able to be put back on her dress, my wife is using them to make photo album covers for each of our kids. As for Olivia's dress, my wife spent the time leading up to the wedding making new pieces and attached them to Olivia's dress herself. It'll be a while before we trust our daughter again like we used to, but we are on the road to recovery. The wedding was a lot of fun and Olivia and our newest family member seemed to really enjoy themselves. Thanks again everyone for the support. Now on to some comments. Posted by Each Peachy. I'm surprised son-in-law went ahead with the wedding after being deceived like that, but good luck to you all. OP responded with, confronting the people she wronged, therapy, and job change were conditions of their relationship continuing. My first thought when he called to come over was, they were going to say it had been postponed or cancelled. Pants Shorts responded with, to all the people writing off Olivia's chances for improvement. Her personality changed after she became the boss to several people at work. I have seen this happen in my own wider friends circle too many times. Becoming a boss, gaining power over others, that brings out some pretty monstrous behaviors in a lot of us. And do not think it couldn't happen to you, it absolutely could. I've seen it happen to people with deeply held anarcho-socialist convictions, for God's sake. What I have rarely seen happen, though, is these same people owning their monstrousness and removing themselves from the working situation that was corrupting them when called out. That Olivia is doing this is a very big deal and makes me think that she just might still be worth her family's time. Posted by Brucier. 1. She hacked her bridesmaids' phones to cancel their pre-existing plans. 2. She lied to her bridesmaids. 3. She lied to her parents. 4. She lied to her fiancé. 5. She destroyed her mother's wedding dress. Conclusion. She didn't change after she got a new job. She's the same person. Having power gave her the impression that she's powerful and that she could bully the people around her. It led her to believe that she's able to exercise her narcissism, bullying personality. If she treats her closest friends like dirt, see above. Just imagine how awful she probably is to people who are actually in her power, i.e., employees. It's only a matter of time before that fiancé dumps her. He seems decent. Or maybe he's so decent he'll be a doormat or enabler for her narcissism. Therapy can't change behavior like your daughter's. If she does have kids, be ready for them to want to move away from their narcissistic bullying mother as soon as they're able to. This is a really sad update. I'm really sorry for that fiancé. Maru 3,792,648 responded with, spot on, she deceived everyone in her life. She took from others. This is not the last time she'll hurt her loved ones.